All right, everyone. Now we're going to get into module four. I'm going to show you how to navigate through it again. This is the whole point, to show you the navigation of the app. So this is module three that we were on a little bit earlier. I showed you all the crazy modules, the drop down, all that good stuff. But now we're going to get into module four. So click back on all modules, and then we're going to click on toxicity in the workplace. Now, toxicity in the workplace. This one right here, it really can really change your culture the most. Out of all the modules in the app, this is the one that does a deep dive into your culture. Deep dive into your culture. That's what this is. Everything I've learned about toxicity in the workplace from the great Art Padilla, who created the toxic triangle with Hogan and Kaiser. I'm telling you, there's a lot of educational stuff embedded, psychology stuff embedded into this app, into every single module. 360-degree feedback. If you're doing that, this is the perfect tool to use for 360-degree feedback. I'm telling you guys, this is the way to do it. This is awesome stuff. But what really gets me about this one is that this is what's really going to change the culture in your facility. I already went over it, module three. Module three is the biggest bang for your buck. There's so many tools in that module. And then when it comes to my favorite module, it's the next one, the SWOT analysis. But this one right here is what's going to save your culture. This is what's going to make it fun in your culture again, because you're going to start to notice when people are just there to just ruin the culture. Also, you're going to learn when people are just there ruining the culture. They don't know that they're ruining the culture. They don't want to ruin the culture. They just are ruining the culture. And this is supportive tools, supportive documentation that will help you in figuring out how to decipher what's going on, figuring out how to put that into context, how to put that into a document that you can share with your managers, your superiors, your colleagues, and go out in a professional manner. Do a professional intervention, right? Do a professional 360-degree feedback, not just beating someone up and saying, hey, you do this, you do this. No, this is going to show how much of a risk it is, how much it isn't a risk, how moderate it can be, how you can change it, how you can do the intervention, how you can have the supportive documentation. That's what this is going to help you with. So here are the concepts that really motivated me doing this module. There's Arpadia that I mentioned. There's Hogan, his colleague. There's the dark triad, which is Machiavellianism, narcissism, and psychopathy. And then there's the behavioral drift that I created. And then there's a 360-degree feedback that a lot of people have created, but I learned about it through this guy named Alan Church and Robert and David Bracken. But there's a lot of good stuff that I've learned, and that's just the baseline, what it is. Quick reference guide. Then there's the toxicity rubric that I created. There's the low risk, there's the moderate risk, high risk, and then what are the toxicity triggers? Just for an example, speed would be erratic decisions under pressure, volatility derailer. And if you don't understand this stuff, because some of these words are weird, copy and paste it and put it in the chat box, and it's going to answer your questions. Then there's power. What's the toxicity trigger in power? There's arrogance derailer, shirking accountability. And check this out, power right here. High risk for power, right? Blames others, manipulates responsibility. Man, we're gonna get into this stuff. I'm telling you, this stuff's crazy. Fielding, right? Ignores risk, fosters chaos. Do people really want to do that? Do people know they're doing that? Hitting for average, silent quitting erodes trust, right? And this is such a reflection tool as well. The reason why it's a reflection tool too, not just a deep dive into culture, is because you're going to probably find some people that you think are not that great of managers who they might not be on the floor 24/7. They might not have the best numbers, but maybe their team has the best numbers. Maybe their team works extremely good together, because you're going to find out using this that, wow, Brian was a leader that we never thought he was. He's actually a great leader. His team doesn't have any of this drama, right? So everything there's a low risk, moderate risk, high risk, and there's toxicity triggers. So cool. Then go down. And once again, some of these words were weird, right? So power. I'm going to go into this. I want some more. Check this out. So can you tell me more about this? And then I'm going to, in simple terms that I can understand, because I don't understand those words. Because I don't understand the context of some of those words. Very, very simple. Very simple. There's some manuals that I read where I'm like, what the heck is that? I'm spending 2 hours with Chat GPT or Grok because I'm trying to understand it, right? So ask the questions and boom, sure, let's break it down. There it is. blames others, hesitates, deflects blame occasionally, owns outcomes, decisive and humble, arrogance derailer. Right here. This is the one, arrogance derailer, shirking accountability. Arrogance can lead to poor leadership when leaders are overly confident and refuse to accept their mistakes. It can derail their effectiveness and harm the team. Watch this. Okay, thank you. Oops. I want to know more about this. Oh, see what it does. I copied and paste. That's all I did. Copy and paste. It's thinking. Let's see if it brings out something new. Once again, it's cache. Yep, there it is. Oh, more information. And overconfidence, refusal to accept mistakes, impact on team, practical interventions. To address these issues, consider the following interventions. Encourage open communication. Implement 360-degree feedback. Use feedback from peers, subordinates, and supervisors. Leadership training. Okay, cool. Let me do one more. Okay. Thank you. Tell me more about leadership training. Do you know some good ones? Very, very simple. You're probably like, Brian, I can't believe you're typing something so simple in there. Hey, I just want to show you how interactive this can be, how simple it can be. It's not creating rocket science, right? Let's go. Boom. There it is. 360-degree feedback training, emotional intelligence workshops, decision making and accountability courses, right? Coaching and mentoring. If you need to, I recommend researching local or online leadership training providers. That's it. It tells you everything, guys. It's so cool. So once again, what have we gone over? Job reviews, hiring evaluations, regular evaluations. Should you hire this person? We've gone over that. We've gone over the deep research and psychology behind it. We went over behavioral calibration tools. And now we're going over culture. Culture, misaligned culture, why it's misaligned. What do they need training on? What are you really seeing here? And that's just the AI chat box. When you want to create one at the bottom, boom, you can do it right here. This person, let's say this person is just not good at communication at all. So fielding, they're not really saving the company when they're not communicating. They're not communicating well. Power, let's say, yeah, they go out, they like to swing for the fences. Arm strength or influence, no, because they don't communicate well. Hitting for average day, they don't communicate well, but they're very, very smart and very, very technically capable, right? So I'm going to write that. This person is very technically capable, but they are very, very poor at communicating, and they don't care about changing that. Watch this. Before, a year ago, this person's team was complaining about no communication. Now, a year later, they are now poor at communicating. Boom. Generate profile. This gives you the store, moderate risk, coach and monitor, clarify expectations, increase feedback. Very, very generic. But right here, it's analyzing notes. It's making contextual insight. Look at that stuff. Gives you everything you need to know about this person. Engage a communication coach. Create a safe feedback environment. Foster a culture where team members feel safe to provide honest feedback. Again, you can go back to the chat box. You can copy this, put in there, and let's do that. Let's do that real quick. So we're going to clear this out first. How can I improve this? Let's see what it says. Right? I'm telling you, it's interactive. Talk, copy, paste, text, all that stuff. Not text, but email, sorry. Tells you right there, leadership modeling. Leadership modeling. Encourage leaders to model vulnerability by sharing their own areas for improvement. This sets a tone of openness and can help reduce fear around giving feedback. Just talk to them. Hey, is there anything that you think you need to improve on? Do you think you need to improve on anything? Right? So I want more of that though. Okay. I like your feedback. But is there some type of form I can use for, what was it called? for sharing their own areas of improvement. I can use for the employee in question to share their areas of improvement, their perceived. Boom. See what it says. Interactive, guys. Talk to it. Copy, paste, knock it out of the park. So it's thinking right now. Boom. Oh, wow. Look at that. It did it for you. Feedback form template, employee name, date, your name, communication skills. Guys, I'm telling you, this is the best app for this stuff. Download it, tear it up. You get 10 free prompts. And then after that, you got to pay $9.99. It's an incredible tool. We generated the profile right here. Download PDF. Boom. There it is again. Download PDF. There's a radar chart and all that stuff. I'm telling you guys, it's phenomenal stuff. Um, yeah, this is great stuff. Enjoy it. All right, thank you.